In the dead of night, under a relentless downpour, Alex approaches the forsaken factory, its flickering neon sign whispering warnings he ignores. As he steps inside, the beam of his flashlight pierces the dusty gloom, casting long, eerie shadows that seem to watch his every move. He checks his watch, unaware that something sinister stirs in the darkness behind him. Walking deeper into the corridor, a subtle creak echoes, and his shadow on the wall hesitates, lingering just a moment too long, as if testing its independence. Suddenly, the shadow detaches, its edges fraying like smoke, and Alex freezes, shining his light only to see it snap back innocently. In the vast warehouse, he stumbles over debris, falling hard, while his shadow writhes on the floor, defying physics before reforming with malevolent intent. A metallic clang shatters the silence. Alex spins, but it's too late. The shadow seizes a wrench in silhouette, raising it high. He dodges as it smashes a crate, wood exploding in a chaotic spray. Panic surges. Alex bolts down the aisle, the shadow pursuing like a predator, stretching and leaping across walls with unnatural agility. He vaults a barrier, but the shadow overshoots, slamming into a pipe that erupts in steam, buying him precious seconds. Hiding behind a pillar, his breath ragged, he watches tendrils of darkness probe the floor, inching closer. One wraps his ankle. He kicks free, grabbing a chain and swinging wildly, forcing the shadow to recoil and reform, larger and more ferocious. The fight erupts. Alex charges, chain whipping through the air, dispersing the shadow like mist, but it surges back, knocking him tumbling across the cold concrete. Seizing his flashlight, he blasts light into its core, watching it shrink and distort in visual agony. Undeterred, the shadow lashes with a cable, sparking dangerously as Alex rolls aside. He climbs a staircase, the shadow mirroring on the railing, its elongated arms grasping at his legs. Hanging precariously from the edge, fingers slipping, Alex kicks a light fixture, shattering it into erratic beams that fragment his pursuer. Dropping to the ground in a crouch, he faces the reformed monster, now jagged and towering. Through the crate maze he sprints, the shadow crashing through obstacles, debris flying in its wake. Luring it into a mirrored room, reflections multiply, confusing the entity as it attacks illusions. Glass shatters in an explosive frenzy. Alex wields a shard, reflecting light to weaken it further. Cornered against the wall, the shadow looms, claws poised for the kill. Spotting an overhead spotlight, Alex scales a ladder, the shadow clawing at the rungs below. At the top, he smashes the controls, flooding the space with blinding brilliance. The shadow writhes, pulsing in torment. In a final desperate lunge, it grabs his arm, pulling him toward oblivion, but Alex redirects a piercing beam into its heart, fracturing it into wisps that dissolve into nothingness. Collapsing in exhaustion, he stares at his now obedient shadow. The nightmare ended. Wiping sweat from his brow, Alex strides toward the exit, glancing back once into the empty factory. As he vanishes into the rainy night, the shadows remain still. But the question lingers, what if it returns?